Alright, welcome back to Black Cloud Trivia Night. I am Art, and we are again doing some Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. I'm in one of my other green t-shirts. I think it's important to point that out, just so you don't think I've hit rock bottom and I'm not bathing or changing my clothes from day to day. I'm not quite at that premier level of dedicated streamer, but God willing, I will get there. But yeah, we're back. We're doing some more Tainted Grail. Matt, thank you for jumping into the chat with a yo, let's go. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm very curious. Yesterday's session, again, when you're watching this on the YouTube, it's going to be like a couple weeks after the last one went up. But in the terms of when I've been recording and streaming them, they've been within days. I'm trying to, like I said in the last one, family's out of town. I could spend it passing the time doing spiritual reflection. I'm not going to do that. Ain't got time for that. I'm going to try and get as much nerd shit in as I can. So, they were here before us. Surprise. Many questions. We investigate if their work was safe. Great power flows within it, incomprehensible to us. Weirdness cannot help us. We approach it humbly. So, reinforced chest. So yeah, so we're gonna play some more Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. We'll see we can get another couple hours in. That sucks. And again, I'm hoping to really get into this game. You know, I've put in probably, you know, this is I think the 5th session. Each one's about three hours. So you know, you could argue it's been like 12 hours so far. This is the 5th. There's 4 in the books, each one about 3 hours. So this isn't Souls. No, Matt, no, I'm afraid not. This is not Souls. This is more Tainted Grail. Let me get some health going. Let me get my sword out. Matt has been on a Souls tear. I don't know if you are currently farming Bladestone still, as you mentioned you were doing earlier, or if that was just getting some time in this morning. We approached with respect. The tower allowed us to discover its potential. We don't know what it once was. We know now that it was the way home. Be careful, Pilgrim. When you enter, your soul must be strong and pure. Nah, got it. Working on tendency stuff. So, okay, that's good. Because I will say, of the Souls games, I feel like it's not crazy to say that Demon's Souls is probably the most grindy in that sense. It's got a lot of nuance, I guess you could say, to its upgrade material. Maybe it's a little too busy, you could argue. I think each game sort of simplifies it, and I will say, I think for the best, yeah, Matt says no doubt. I don't mind the Elden Ring upgrade systems for... Am I spotted? I don't think so. I think I'm alerting them, but not outright spotted. You know, it's still got a little meat to it, but it's a little simplified. Just like there's like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or whatever it is. You just need certain stones, and they apply to everything for the most part. Demon's Souls, if you don't know, has very... I described it as nuanced, but if you want a dex weapon, it's one thing. If you want a strength weapon, if it's another. It's if you want a quality build. I was trying to think of the word when you do both. It's another. If you want magic, it's another. If you want poison, it's another. If you want flame, it's another. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, you could argue that like Dark Souls has different ones. You know, you've got like slabs, shards, chunks, you know, but that's all Titanite. And then you have like a couple other, I mean, it's not uncomplicated, but I feel like it's a little more manageable. I'll strike you down. Now here's the thing. Maybe it's time to try some bows and arrows. Did I get him? You're nothing but a peasant. There we go. He's deranged, I'll tell you that.
are made of.
That's what I'm talking about. Is he down? Are we witnessing the... Oh. Whoa, where'd he go? I was there. We're witnessing the dawn of the stealth archer, and then the guys... like...
I will be your downfall.
Got his crotch right in front of me. Nope, wrong button.
Your armor won't save you. You'll fall to my sword.
A lot going on here. A lot of like, what button mashing are you doing, Art? I've got all my weapons deactivated. I've tried to dodge, and yeah, that was a hot mess. But all right, now I'm going to say it. Are we witnessing the dawn of the stealth archer? Now that I don't have somebody to just wave his junk in my face the moment I start opening my mouth and trying to get those words out. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like... I think Dark Souls 3, because it is just so derivative. That's for the Mats in the audience. I think it sticks with the tried and true formula, as does, I think, Dark Souls 2. Sort of like that chunk slab stuff of rage, Matt says, of like Titanite stuff. And, you know, it makes sense, though, because those are sort of very closely tied together, where you could argue Demon's Souls, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway. But as somebody who is a fan of Elden Ring, I really don't mind how they handle things in that game for upgrades. So I'm 15 hours in. Still don't quite know how this works. What's interesting, though, is that the other times when I've seen this, I feel like I could sense that it was moving with me as I shifted around. I don't get that sense. I feel like I should take the feathers and the wooden arrows and I can craft more arrows. Yeah, I don't get the sense that it's actively shifting around, and I don't... Oh wait, now I can sort of see it moving as I move. And I don't quite follow... Okay, so I think one thing that's going on is I'm overburdened. I don't quite follow what it means yet. I gotta unlock that puzzle, because yeah, because I don't know what's going on. Okay, can we... I was looking to say, can we break things down, or can we send things straight to, like, my chest back in the town we were just in? What's this? Leather boots of roots. I should have dumped a lot more. So in that one fight, you can see I went from, like... Oh no, that's copper arrows. I was going to say I went from like 40-something arrows to 20-something. So that's what's preventing me from going ham on some of this stuff. Wraps of the Waning Moon. Here's the thing, right? I'm walking around carrying plate armor. It's my own fault for getting into this position, but you know what? Let me drop wood. Does that get me under? It does, just barely. Let's pray at this druidic shrine. Make an offering of animal parts, get 5% incoming healing. Yeah, I think I have animal parts. I will give monster blood. Okay, there's something new. There's a spectral presence off in the distance. I don't know if that was because it was right on the edge. If it was something else. I know I can... So here you can see, like, the weird is actively forming a barrier here of some kind, which I haven't seen yet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quick save, and I'm going to see what happens if I enter it.
Mather favors me. Open this and release me.
Tell me who you are first, because I don't remember the quest from yesterday. I probably should have looked it up.
I'm Nest, of the Ulfra clan. And that's my real name. I'm nothing like that nameless fool Bromar. I'll admit, getting caught was my mistake, but his men had the numbers. Bromar might be an oaf, but I can't deny he's got some talent for banditry.
Alright, Orlaith wants to know about her package.
That woman thinks only about business, doesn't she? Can't say I blame her. In times like these, everyone has to look after their own skin. They took everything I had, but I managed to hide Orla's package before they caught me. You can dig it up and take it to her. She'll pay you, and we'll be even. Consider it my thanks for freeing me.
Okay. Ness told me where to find the package. Let's get some info out of her. Who's nameless Bromar?
Ah, I see you don't know much about the Dalriata. No surprise there. Our elders keep us in the mountains, and the world seems to be forgetting about us. In the Dalriata, you have to earn your name. You choose a father, go through the trials, all of it. You need to prove yourself worthy of your clan. If you fail, you're not worthy of carrying a name. You get exiled. So, Bromar can call himself whatever he wants, but to me, he's a nobody.
Okay, why did Bromar imprison you? Let's get that out.
How should I know what rattles around in that empty skull of his? Maybe he liked what he saw, and thought he could take me for himself. Not that he got very far. Dalriata women decide for themselves who they lie with. You can't take us by force. We bite. Literally. He probably thought if he kept me here long enough, I'd soften up. He's in for a rude awakening, because I'd sooner bite through my own wrists than fall for his posturing.
Alright, you're free to go.
Finally. Someone with some sense in this den of idiots. Thanks. I'll heal up and head back to my people. You didn't happen to kill that big oaf hanging around outside, did ya? Bromar no face. Suits him, with that ugly mug of his.
I didn't see anyone like that. Yeah, I was about to say, maybe there was supposed to be some kind of...
Well, honour demands I kill the bastard. But I'll tend to my wounds first. Thanks for freeing me. You're alright, for a non-reata.
Nice. Alright, so we got a bit of a litmus test. She passed when she told me she'd rather chew through her own wrists. And I'm like, you seem exactly the kind of people we need to have running around in this world. Let's go. And she's free to go. I'm nervous that there is another clans person out there that I missed that is, that should have been part of that fight. I want the arrows. I don't know what summon that does. I want that, but I'm going to be, again, overburdened. See if we can spend some alchemy ingredients. I know I've said it before, but like these like use the skills to improve the skills kind of setups that my first exposure to was in the 1992 classic for Microprose Darklands, which we've got some on the channel here. I find that very satisfying. I think that okay, somebody's out there. I think that, you know, again, maybe Darklands doesn't have a level system, but I feel like if you're going to have the use it to improve it kind of mechanic, I don't recall Daggerfall. I've barely spent time with Daggerfall. Part of me really wants to go back to that one and play it for real finally. I've dabbled, but it's imposing. I don't recall how it worked in Morrowind, but I feel like the Elder Scrolls sort of land in a good place with those, where it's like, use it to improve it, 10 improvements get you a level. If you're going to do levels on top of all of this, it's all good. And of course, you know, this game borrows from that series in a lot of good ways. It's obvious by this point, and I've said it a million times. Tempted to sit down at that. Got some ingredients. Let's see what it gives me. Undercooked food. Yeah, I'll take it. There's a campfire here. I need to sit at a campfire because I think I have meeting on the books with potentially King Arthur. Gonna restore that. Let's level up because I haven't done that, I guess, yet. Attributes. I'm going Dex. I'm going Strength Dex like a Souls game. Goddamn cliche. Let's confirm that. Quality build. Oh, man. I certainly have my comfort zone. Let's see what we got going on here for the skill trees. What's general? What do we got here? Godly physique. That was my nickname in high school. No, not really. As per tradition, yes, Matt says. Yep. I very much have my lane that I very much like to stay in. Next level increases melee damage by 5. I'm assuming that does not include... Let's see what happens if I go to Dex. Let's just see what's going on over there. Parry. Attack speed might be interesting. Movement is interesting. What does that get me? Dash, less stamina. Sliding. Didn't know I could slide. Dashes regenerate faster. Add one more long dash. This stuff could be useful because I think the dash is what I'm doing to dodge. That is pretty useful. I'm dodging a lot. Deadly aim, deal an extra... That's weak spots. Critical hits with arrows have a 25% chance to refund one arrow. This actually might help because I'm elderly and I have elderly reaction speeds. It might help to be able to slow down time a little bit. But it does draw stamina down, so it would mean I'd lose the ability to shoot as fast. Marksman, the further you are from the enemy. Nice. I think I'm going to go with some deadly aim if I happen to get a headshot in. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to, again, I want to, in my heart, I want to be a stealth archer because, again, it's all about conforming to my bullshit. I was gonna have a... Okay, so let's see what we got here for quests. Okay, she told me where to find the package, but I feel like I'm so close to... I'm so close to my inventory cap that I need to potentially dump some stuff. Okay, so it's right up ahead. All right. Keep an eye out for the other gentleman she was mentioning about face shit. Seen enemies off to the right. I'm seeing some ruins up to the right as well, so maybe it was up on top of the hill. Some stuff to the left. Got a bear. And we've got some of those, the bear I don't think I want to mess with, so let's... see if we can get into position to get a stealth shot on one of these guys. Oh, just fuck yeah. All right. Now you know why I like being a stealth archer, because... there we go. That is what I am talking about. I assume this corpse is what they were kind of around. Okay, there we go. Is this the other guy? Where's the other guy? I'm trying to... not quite sure where I dropped him. So my real fear is that the bear is sort of parked on... maybe not. I was about to say on the stash that I'm meant to dig up. But it looks like they hid it in this bit of rubble. So one of the things I like about the art direction of this game, I maybe like the Elder Scrolls sort of guess this a little bit too. But I can tell you I was very lucky to travel back to my homeland of Ireland last summer of 2024. And the architecture that I'm seeing fits a lot with what I saw of the old architecture. Like, that kind of stuff I'm seeing up there doesn't feel that off from, I'm trying to think, the Blarney Stone Castle, you know, the side of it. And, like, I saw the ruins of an abbey near, it's a town where they filmed, filmed Braveheart for little bits of it. And it's got a really interesting name, and I can't remember the name of it. It's sort of a little bit more in the middle of Ireland, west of Dublin. And really genuinely loved that town. And it had like this ruined abbey in it, and this stone sort of reminded me of it as I approached. Man, what was the name of that town? But yeah, it was a very cool, you know, it's just like this stone trim. It's not actually that funny of a name, but yeah, it was a town of Trim. And it has like this just ruined bit of architecture from an old abbey. And from a distance, that's what that little bit reminded me of. All right, so we've got the stuff, so now we're looking to get back to town. Now, the nearest fast travel is to the west, so I might do that. I might cut west to the beach. and activate the whatever. So yeah, one thing I keep accidentally doing is I keep abandoned stronghold. I haven't been here yet. Huh. I mean, it's clearly not abandoned. You can see movement up there on the wall. But here's the fast travel point. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so let's get back to the Horns of the South. He's back. You know what? I'm just gonna... yeah, I was gonna say, she's right by the front door, so let's talk to her.
You're back. Did you bring my goods?
Sure did.
That's the best news I've heard all week. Come on then, give it to me.
You know what? Let's dabble in humanity.
Not really. We were never friends, just reluctant business partners. Her problems are hers alone, just like mine or mine. As long as they don't affect our mutual interests. Besides, it's a dangerous business. I know you can't always avoid the risks.
You know what? A simpler time when we didn't have to hide the fact we were a total psychopath.
Now that I think about it, since you managed to bring that package and Ness decided to ditch me, you might as well help with the next part of the job.
What do you mean?
My client, you know who, wants the package delivered to a specific place. Once you're there, you'll use these very special arrows I'm about to give you and shoot the package from a safe distance. Regular arrows won't do the trick, and if you waste them before the job's done, I'll charge you for the next batch. These aren't gifts, they're tools.
Okay, Orlyth has revealed to me the second part of the plan. I have to open the passage to the second part of the broch using fire. And what will happen then?
Oh, come on. What do you think happens when you shoot flaming arrows at a mysterious package? Think for a second. Anyway, whatever opens up in front of you, check it out, and then tell me all about it. If I were you, I wouldn't touch anything. But if something catches your eye, well, maybe nobody will notice. Just make sure to open the passage.
What might I find inside? She seems a little cagey about that detail, so I doubt she's gonna open up about that, but...
Am I some kind of seer? I have no idea. The captain's my client, not my friend. But if the rumors about him cozying up to the Dalriada tribes are true, you might stumble upon something related to them. Maybe some long-lost artifacts. I haven't got a clue. Personally, I think the captain's just trying to suck up to them. That would be very much like him.
Does the captain know about this?
What does he care? He pays me to get the job done. How I get it done and whose hands do the work, that's my business.
Open shop. Let's see if... I feel like I should be selling more than I have. So I've got some fire arrows. I've got crafting reagents. That's the problem. I don't want to give up crafting. So let me go to my stash and dump that kind of stuff. You know, like the heavy armor sets and things like that that I'm lumbering around with that I'm not quite ready to part with yet, just in case, because I can't decide what kind of overall specific build I want. I know the kinds of weapons I want to use, but if I'm doing stealth archery, I probably could afford to sell that heavy armor I'm lumbering around with. Nope. Okay, so let's I'm really torn on these two. I'm gonna put that away. This is some pretty heavy armor, but I need 8 strength. I'm not there, and it increases melee damage by 3%. So, okay. I'm gonna park that. I might need to... Let's park that. I might switch to... So I go with this because it decreases stamina cost by minus 20% when dual wielding, which is what I'm doing when I enter melee. I don't know if this would be more useful. I'll hold on to both of these at the moment. Boots of Roots, can't use that. Armor, increases movement speed multiplier when your mana is below 25%. Park those. Okay, so you can see like now I'm like 16 pounds underweight. So I'm starting to get there. Rings I don't think are going to be too... Weapon now applies burning. That could be interesting. Incandescent Pearl also inflicts burn. Keep the potions. Coatings. One thing I know I can get rid of is this. I'm hoping... Let me see if I can quickly... Let me take this stuff back, and then let me see if I can quickly... Is there a crafting menu? In my inventory, bag... Probably not. I'm hoping this game has the sort of quality of life where if I go over to, say, the blacksmith station and I want to, you know, do some stuff there, I'm hoping that it lets me just pull from this. That would be wonderful. That's something I think the remake of Demon's Souls. Is there a crafting menu? Seems like an odd question 15 hours in. Yeah, there's just a lot I don't know. I'm not good at the video games. I rarely know how to play them. Yeah, the poor people that have watched any of this, what they've seen me do is basically stumble around the open world for a long time, just running into trouble. The original Demon's Souls, I don't think it allowed you... I don't know if it allowed you to pull from your equipment, the stash. I'm not sure how that worked exactly. I know there were some quality of life improvements that came about in the new one. Yeah, usually there's like some kind of crafting menu in your equipment just so... Just so you don't have to like literally go to... Because some things don't require a specific station to make. So let me just go to the blacksmith and get an idea of what it looks like. I don't want to take a chisel, I just want to... It's not letting me use the wheel. That would be something that was in... Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, so I can make leather boots, leather gauntlets, because I've got a couple of strips. Let's take a look at my arrows. I can make 10 arrows. What do I need for that? Okay, so I can take broken arrows, convert them into... Okay. So I need 2 more broken arrows. But what I need to do is not corpse eater rags. I mean, yes, but what I need to do is how do I make a warm leather pants, leather jacket, leather gloves? Let's see, armor weight reduction, okay. Okay. It is going to let me pull because I don't have those things on me. I put all my ore into... Yes, stockpile. I put everything into my thing, so yes, it is going to let me pull from that. So that is great to know. See about upgrading. Okay. Can make this a +1 Cursed Bloodblade, why not? Do I dare go to +2? Why not? +4. Is that as high as it goes? As high as it's letting me go at the moment. Oh, it's because I just burned all my money. Because I wasn't, there's a little thing there, 100, and right next to it is the cost. It's 1,000 gold. And I'm just like, bleh. So let's see if I can cheaply upgrade whatever the bow is I'm using. Let me go all in on my shovel. Longbow. Why the fuck am I using? That's not the bow I've got equipped, is it? Please tell me it's not. I am so bad at video games. Let's see what we got for bows. We got the longbow. Ranged. We don't have the spirituality for this. Classic longbow. Oh, that's why, because I don't have spirituality. So I am going with the longbow. Let's bump that up if I can. Let's see how cheap it is. I don't have wood. Wood is the thing I ditched because I was at my weight limit. All right. Attach relic. What can I do with the longbow's relic? What do we got? I can put 2 relics on there. It's going to cost me $500. I don't have that. That's fine. Okay. Let's pick, she gave me another quest. Where are we going? Oh, we've been there before. I think there was like an ogre or something in those ruins. We need that one. So let's head out to the fast travel outside of town. And hit up those ruins and see if we're able to... Classic Odron. Alright. Okay, let's do a quick save. Let's get the fire arrows. Alright, I'm going to try and get up high over on this structure and see if I can aim where I need to aim. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Speaking of things like 15 hours in, blah, blah, hopefully the audio is okay. I tried not to touch anything from yesterday, but... But yeah, you know, Matt, like, it said, I probably should know how any of this stuff works 15 hours in. I literally spent hours and hours just running around outside. And it's a anecdote that I've said, you know, stems from my time in Oblivion. Is part of what makes Oblivion so special to me. It was at a time before I had kids, like literally right before I had kids, where I was able to just root around in the filth of a video game, just really roll around in it. And 5 more fire arrows, nice. A little nervous that not sure what to hit. Let me see if I can work my way around the wall and get a little closer. Yeah, Oblivion. I played Morrowind for a while, but I just never... It was just a hair too clunky, and I was playing it on the original Xbox that I never quite got into it. So what am I trying to hit? Or did I already do this? Because I've been here before. Okay, so I need to pop that. There we go. So when Oblivion came and smoothed a lot of that stuff out, I was like, oh, shit. This is really pleasure to play, and the 360 is handling this beautifully. And so I was just completely enamored, having never really spent time in Morrowind, and definitely having never spent time in Daggerfall, which again, I keep wanting to get back to. Okay, so I've opened up the passage to the Broke dungeon. I don't know if that's all I need to do for the quest. I should check what's ahead. Okay, so I should go look in. I thought she was saying don't, but maybe just dip a toe in. It looks like it's friendly. I can talk. Green little carrots telling me he is not necessarily an enemy yet. Rumpolt Fanini.
Yes? Who are you? Did Albert Albertus send you? I've told you 1,000 times I'm not leaving. This place is perfect for me. At last, I have the space to explore the limits of culinary delights. You'll never understand, you bunch of cabbage heads. Your taste buds have long been dulled by fried cheese, fried fish, and oil. Oil everywhere, the goddamn oil.
The fuck are you?
Oh, so you're not one of Albert's yes men. I hope you'll forgive this egregious lapse in my manners. I never thought that after the entrance was buried, anyone unfamiliar with my situation would find their way here. But first things first. My name is Rumpolt Fanini. I used to be the most renowned chef in Camelot, but now I am an outcast. Doomed to forever search, misunderstood by plebeians with no taste.
I still don't understand what you're doing here.
I've reached the limits of taste. And when I gazed into that abyss, I realized that all my past efforts were doomed to fail. You see, the logical conclusion of creating the most delicious food is something that flips the pleasure of eating on its head and brings it to the other side. Food so delicious, so extraordinary, that the pleasure turns into pain. Because, you see, it's only through pain that we can truly reach pleasure. Now, listen carefully. Sour herring and cheese. Sour herring with cheese. Perhaps, but it's not supposed to sound, it's supposed to be seen. For what is virtue if you don't first know vice? This experience is meant to embody the essence of flavor transgression. Culinary norms and rules, they're nothing but simple amusements for the masses. Limitations meant only to expose the cracks within them. Why don't you try it yourself? Though I must warn you, there's no turning back from this path. Once you've tasted the effects of my culinary transgression, nothing will ever be the same. Here's the recipe for my sour herring with cheese. The ingredients are for you to obtain. It must be your own path. Just remember, it requires a special herring.
Special herring?
If I recall correctly, a good fishing spot was... Here, I've marked it on your map. My acolyte of culinary delights.
Okay, so it turns out beneath the Broke lives a mad cook. How long have you been trapped here?
Oh dear, I could ask what year it is, but honestly, I don't find it terribly important. I finally found my place and purpose. Time holds no meaning for me.
The Captains of the Horn of the South wants to get in here.
Does he now? Why? I don't offer paid lessons, and I certainly don't run the garrison's kitchen. I can't think of any reason Captain Hubert would send his men here.
Okay, so they keep talking about Hubert, but it's Brendan.
Sorry?
Captain Brendan is the current captain of the Horns of the South.
Oh, a change in command then. Interesting. I do hope Captain Hubert is well. He was very kind to me when I stayed at the Keeper's Fortress.
Okay.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Okay, new quest, 120 days on herring. Okay, so we got... This is giving me some... If I ever do, like, an Elder Scrolls game, this is giving me some ideas of how you might approach it, which is just... I've always been a little daunted because there's so much to them. But the idea is just, you know, like, pick a quest chain and do that quest chain. You're racking up the side quests as you go, but just pick one storyline, even if it's a side quest, and just keep going. And, see it to its conclusion. And then, you know, when you... Or just dive right into the main story quest. Just bang that out. Like, it's a run of the main story quest. I can do all the side crap on my own if I really want to. I don't know. But yeah, I'm starting to get some general sense of how to approach some of these bigger games. The one thing that will never waver? Stealth archery. I wonder if increasing your lockpick skill also means you don't have to get quite as far to the right in order to succeed. It felt like that one opened when I... But maybe I'm just not paying attention to the mom's pie. What does that need? It needs blueberries, flour, egg. So at some point I'm going to need to... I wonder if there's a way to track a recipe. It doesn't seem to be. Like in Lord of the Rings Online, you can track like deeds and stuff like that. Plate, cheese. Let's take some cheese. Gonna need that with the sour herring. Unless... It'd be funny if there was one in here. He won't be needing it. I'll take his cheese. Let's see. Just curious, did it open up anything? Recipes. So what I can do is I can just use the random. Craft an undercooked food, which again gives a little bit of health benefits. Cooked seafood discovered. Nice. Okay. So I think I've done what I need to do here. Let's see. Have you ever played Kingdom Come Deliverance? Matt asked. The short answer is briefly. And I will tell you what my thoughts are in next week's episode. No, not really. I'm not going to make that into a lame cliffhanger. The first-person combat really threw me off in that game. Like, really threw me off. And I need to give it another go and either learn to live with it or crack it somehow, because everything about that game, on paper, I should love. Like everything. Like that game is right up my alley in about 10 different ways. So I really, and I've heard the second one in particular is amazing. Nope, just stood there and took that. Nope, didn't dodge enough out of the way for that. I might be not quite down. Now, if you've seen any of the other episodes of this, you know that I have beaten these creatures before. It was difficult, but I have done it. Did I just sort of stun him for a sec there? I don't know what I did to go slow. Did I activate my special power? Is that what I did? I must have. Maybe that's what that worm power does, or weird power does. Which is very handy. You do it by depressing the right stick, which is something I'm very able to do when panic mashing. There we go. Yeah, it seems very art. Yeah. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I really need to give another try because everything about it seems like it would be awesome. It's like I think when I say low fantasy, I think like it's not like no magic spells, no nothing. I think it's just straight up like 14th century Europe. And maybe, once I spend some time with the melee combat, maybe I would adjust, get used to it, whatever I need to do to make it happen. And then I could be off to the races, because again, the second one I've heard is genuinely... there's a lot of good foundation that was built in the first one. The second one, I think, takes that solid foundation and makes just a great game. Let me see if I can... I have a bounty from the ogre. I don't see the guy here to hand it into. Maybe he's resting for the night. Yeah. And maybe hell, like maybe I'll someday I'll record a little bit of it just so you can see. You probably already have seen what the game plays like, but I could talk about why I'm terrible at it and why that's what throws me off. It's very... Here, I immediately... Like the first-person combat in Elder Scrolls games, I've said it before, it doesn't quite click with me. Which is why I go Stealth Archer. This one with that sort of dash, dodge, feels a little more... There's something to it that is not there in my memory of the Elder Scrolls games. It's just something that's a little more interesting about it. A little more... Dare I say Soulsy? Even though it's in first person. Like, I'm waiting to time the thing and then I make my move. I make my dodge. So you're learning attack patterns. I do wish it was a third person perspective. I genuinely think that's my go-to for this stuff, but it's not. But yeah, like Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's a very granular, maybe not very granular, but it's a granular first-person combat system where you're sort of choosing like where you position your weapon as like a block, and like what, like, are you attacking high right, high, low left, that kind of decision making. And And I found it really, really clunky. And maybe the second one solves it. I don't know. Or improves enough upon it to make it interesting. Or maybe once you just progress enough into the game and build up a little bit of a baseline skill, get good, if you will, maybe it gets a little better. Which then raises the question, Matt, have you ever dabbled in that? I think they are on PlayStation. I think the second one is definitely on PlayStation. I don't know if that's your preferred gaming platform. But, yeah, it's, yeah, maybe that'll be end up on the channel. Like, I try and pick stuff. I try and pick stuff to when I'm throwing stuff on the channel here. I try and pick stuff that I believe I will stick with for a while. So it's probably, shooting myself in the foot, but I'm like, hey, let me see if I can get like a full playthrough of Darklands. And I couldn't, but I did do 18 sessions of it, and I feel like I definitely showed the game. And there wasn't much, it was, and then with Ultima 5, like I got to literally the end of the game, but because I had been trying to sort of cheese it a little, it didn't work. But, my intention is not to do what I did with Starfield, which is to do a couple of sessions and just be like, I am not feeling this. I want to like really, I don't think it's necessarily important if I stream these things for literally every second of the main story to, be watched. It's, the job's done, but I'm not sure the captain was looking for Rumpolt.
Rumpolt? What are you talking about? You found someone alive in there?
More like undead for some unknown reason. Seemed like a cook.
Wait, Rumpolt? The one who disappeared centuries ago? The chef obsessed with herring and cheese? I can't! I don't believe it! All that effort, all that money, and it's Rumpolt? Oh my God! I'm crying! But, well, a deal's a deal. Here's your cut. Honestly, I thought it was about the lost treasures of the Dauriata, maybe an army of undead berserkers, something that would end the world. You have no idea how scared I was of this job. And now you're telling me it was undead Rumpolts. All right, I'm feeling better now. Do you need anything else from me?
So what's next for you now? Will you be leaving the Horns?
If only. I can't get in touch with Brandon. And it seems that he gave the order to keep me here. Precisely here. Right in this damned spot. And I'm afraid. If I stay here any longer, some of those geezers might actually drop dead. Don't get me wrong, I quite like this place. The air is crisp, the sea is calming. It's true, the company could be better, but I wouldn't mind living here one day.
You don't like being on the road?
I used to love it when I was younger. It felt like an adventure. Like I was a brave heroine venturing into the dangerous world. But it gets boring after a decade or two. Eventually, you start feeling like you haven't had time to sit down since the moment you left. The dangers of the road stop becoming exciting. They become real. And before you know it, your entire life has slipped through your fingers. Life goes by so fast when you're always on the move. You keep thinking you have time for everything. Until you don't.
Somebody who just had his 50th birthday, I hear you, sister. Why don't you settle here?
Only a keeper is allowed to own property in the Horns of the South. I looked it up. It's an actual law, not just something Brandon made up so I'd stop breathing down his neck. So unless I grow a pecker overnight, it'll never happen. Luck's a fickle thing. Hope it's on your side today.
Okay. Nice. Okay, let's okay, there's the bounty guy. Let's see if I can hand in that ogre bounty.
Please, state your business. I can't believe you actually did it. A blade buried in that giant body. I can only imagine what a sight that was. Here, take your reward. And please accept Camelot's official gratitude. You've truly done a great service for the capital. Really? You fought
Did I?
bandits and killed them? Oh, I want to hear all the details.
I mean, I have killed some.
But promise you'll tell me everything. Oh, someone finally checked out the notices. Do you keep bandits?
Do you keep bandits' fingers as trophies? I would. Yeah, if you remember from the last session, this guy... this guy's dark.
Do you keep bandits' fingers as trophies? I would.
Another 1,000 XP. There we go. I'm not above over-leveling. I don't know if there's going to be, like, ways that it keeps the main story level appropriate. I hope not, actually. I like the idea of being able to overlevel if I damn well please. Let's pick another quest. I don't think I have one lined up. Unforgettable. Can't do that one. Can't do that one. Let's try Mom's Finest Pie. Can I track this one? This is blueberries. Let's see if it puts something on the map. We need blueberries and... yeah, so I don't think it's going to tell me where to go for the ingredients. So let's look at something else. What I wish I could do is I could... when I was wondering about, is there like a crafting thing? Let me see. What I wish I could do is there a way to see the recipe, you know, within the interface, so I don't have to only see it in the crafting menu. Like that's I wish there was a way. It's like, okay, what's the recipe? And I'm not sure I'm seeing how to do it. Weapons, magic, armor, jewelry, relics, potion, consumable crafting, readable, quest items, other. Maybe I'm missing it, but yeah, I'm not seeing a way to check out recipes in my... okay, so let's pick a different quest to track. The lenses and eye of sage. Okay, the warmest coat. Again, just how do I... this feels like an oversight, and it feels like somehow, somewhere... did I level up again? Skill tree? Oh, sitting by the fire, I was going to say, I can't just do it here. That is frustrating. I'll have to see if there's a way to do it, because I feel like that is an oversight. You should absolutely be able to look up a recipe you have so you can if they're going to tie quests to it, like the warmest coat. You know, let me see if I track this. Does it tell me where to go? Yeah, that feels like an oversight. Journal. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this druidic ritual at an ancient worship site. I'm trying to decide, I think the easiest way might not be the easiest way, but I want to do this way because then it'll give me an excuse to sort of clear off some of this fog of war. I like the idea that if you want to just fast travel randomly from any point on the map, you've got to fuel your bonfire. Or it's free if you use the sort of the points. It's a little bit... No. I don't know how to... It reminds me a little bit of Dragon's Dogma, but not really correctly, because what you do there is like... I think you have like these stones you can jump between, but... Oh, no, maybe you just need the magic stone you throw in the air every time. I thought you could maybe... I don't want to burn the... But I'm dumb. I don't want to use the fire arrow. So let's get back to... wooden arrows, just because we've got a bit of a... This is probably a bad idea. Yeah, this is... Okay, let's... I don't know when I last checkpoint I'm hoping is when I fast traveled. Fingers crossed. Because I don't remember quick saving after going back into town. Okay. Okay, so we've...
Try not to get yourself killed.
Let me actually run to the blacksmith just so I can get an idea of what I need for that warm coat, if he'll tell me.
I like it when things are quiet.
Okay. Warm coat. We need... We might have what we need. Grants additional optimal dash. Interesting. Yeah, let's get up onto the wall and hand this off.
Just another peaceful moment.
Here's your warm coat.
Oh, thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something I saw a little while ago. It might be interesting for an adventurer like you. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light there. I'm no sure what it could be, though.
A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. Maybe something else entirely?
It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting or valuable there.
Farewell.
All right. Another 50 XP. Anything else? 100 XP. Okay. How much money do I have? 192 coin. Okay, so I think I need like 500 or something. I needed something to get my bow going, so. Which I could probably do if I just sold. Much of that armor I just stockpiled for no reason. Okay, let's mark this. Going again. Why is it not quest? Track. Okay. There we go. We're gonna I'm gonna try here again and see if I can just get away from the bandits and travel instead of what I did last time, which was engage one and then have 7 more up here. My other option is here. Let's go here. We've cleared the ogre, so hopefully... I wonder how tough I'm not going to engage, but there's a bear over there. I'm kind of curious. It seems like that would be a tough one, but maybe they're not as bad. Whoa. Let the hunt begin. Okay, so I did pathetic. So I think what happens is maybe it summons those things and then you have to kill them as fast as possible and then it ranks you. Which if that's the case, I don't really care that I was pathetic on that one, but... Okay, so wolf pelts were part of the warm coat recipe, which makes sense. What I could really go for is a healing spell. Got a dead horse here. He looks like he's friendly, but there's something... Or if this is one of those places where I could just leave the game running and get my sneak up to 99. Barack?
Above! What have you done? You shouldn't be here. Definitely should not. There's no escape from this place. Just look at me. I'm stuck here for good.
You're stuck, but you can get up and leave at any time.
Get up and leave? What a joke. Oh, no, no. It's not that simple. And if you value your life, you'll stay here too. My curse is contagious.
Okay, my curse is contagious. What?
Just look at this boulder. This one here. It tried to kill me. And it wasn't an accident, oh no. And you, I guess, were just curious what you could find under this famous road? Dear me. You found a whole load of bad luck. And a curse to boot. But, well, if we're to die together, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Barack, a knight. Or perhaps a would-be knight. I don't know anymore.
So we can't come out from under the bridge because something bad will happen.
You just try leaving, and you'll see. This stone block broke off the King's Road when I was sleeping. If it had fallen a few inches closer, I'd have ended up a bloody stain.
I think it was a coincidence.
There is no such thing as a coincidence. The gods aren't lazy. And the one who cursed me gets along with the gods pretty well.
So Matt says, seems very Elder Scrolls. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you are a fan of Elder Scrolls games, this is absolutely in that vein and does some things that I think make it more interesting to me. Yeah. About the curse, where did it come from?
I didn't bring it upon myself. It was that damn priest clad in red. With just one look, he brought misfortune upon me. And then I brought it to Lemray.
Can I help you in any way?
I would like to leave this place, that's true. I'd like to find someone to reverse the curse, but I can't go myself. Do you really want to help me?
No problem, I'll return with an answer. Matt says, I want something not Elder Scrolls, but something like this. Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. But I look forward to your return.
Cool, we got some new stuff. I will tell you, I've got two games that came out in relative proximity to each other. Not right on top of each other, but a little close, I guess you could say. Was this and the remake of Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which looks great, but I can tell you, even though I grabbed both, the one that really drew me to firing it up was this. I mean, partly it's because I've beaten Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but I mean, I do love that game. But, yeah, the again, as I was saying, the mechanics for me are a little bit better, but maybe I just don't remember Skyrim that much. And more importantly, the lore is more interesting. I know, and maybe I just haven't given the lore of the Elder Scrolls world enough time or attention, and maybe I'd find it fascinating. But this is a little bit more grounded and a little easier for me to just pick up and go with. I know some things about general Arthurian whatevers. I like that. It makes it a little more grounded to... Can I not... Like a darker fantasy vibe. Yeah, I'm tempted to get Mountain Blade 2 for something else. Now, that is a game I've always wanted to get into. I've heard that game is really awesome, but yeah, especially because it's completely moddable and some people have done some great things in the mod scene. Yeah, that's a game I feel like... I've heard some people say, like, if you're looking for something a little... I throw around the phrase Darklands a lot just because I love that game so much, but, like, you know, it's sort of like this open map. You can just kind of wander and you can sort of build up your armies and, you know, eventually I don't know if it plays out like a classic CRPG, but I think it's more RPG than it might get credit for, and I've always heard it's really good. So Matt, if you get Mountain Blade 2, I'd be curious to hear what you think of it. I did give it a shot, and I think there's a bit of a learning curve, but I mean, that's true with most games, I guess. But yeah, my understanding is that the people who like Mount & Blade, like, really, really like it, because there's a lot of potential there. Okay, there's a lot of bandit activity here. I'm just gonna, let me sneak and grab these roses. But yeah, I'd be curious what you think of that if it happens. I guess if I'm being honest, Branded and Exiled, I wonder what if Mount & Blade is just like the maps there, go to it. Or if there is a little bit of a narrative. I guess I do like a little bit of a narrative, driving things forward. This might reveal how simple I am, but I kind of like something as part of the experience that tells me, like, hey, you know what? You did it. You're good to step away. You finished. And usually that's like, did you finish the story? Like, maybe not every side quest, but did you finish the main story? And I like being like, you know what? I feel like I did what I set out to do. I think it's pretty light on the narrative. Yeah, I think that's true. I think you're right. I think it's very much like creating your own story, which is something that I do in a lot of these games. Like, again, just wandering the countryside or wandering Darklands. I mean, I'm playing Lord of the Rings Online and sort of imagining myself as the warden. But I think a game like Mount & Blade maybe asks one step further. Okay, so I've got a couple of roads here I can take to the left. One seems to be a dead end, but I'm kind of curious what that actually means. Mount & Blade 2, I think, also ends up... You can control, like, small armies. And that might have been the part that was like, you know, I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was more of like a operational, tactical, like combat kind of game. And I think there we go. It's a little better. Yeah, because I'm not good at combat. So because I'm not good at video games. So I will say I think that part of Mount & Blade might have intimidated me. But I do like the idea of, like, sort of having this world unfold in front of you and exploring the map. New location discovered, a Stagfather Shrine. Okay, I guess this is another, like, hunting challenge. I'm gonna... Doing on health bad. Let's see what that last checkpoint was. Yeah, it's been like I said, it's been a while since I've been playing this game in earnest, so I have seen those misslings before, and I just did not remember what was about to happen. So okay, so it's not that bad. Let me I appreciate a game that's got my back on the load last checkpoint, because I'm terrible. And hell, I mean, like, you know, I've said it before, this is obviously a tabletop RPG channel. That's its thing, and in my head, everything feeds into that. So maybe that's why I sort of can justify in my own head why I put up all this nonsense. Maybe at some point I look at Mountain Blade. One thing I haven't done in a while, not that I need to, but I haven't touched the X series in a little bit. I'd started doing X3, whatever the last one was, and then, you know, I think it was Strange Loop on the Discord. I feel bad if I don't have that exactly right. Pointed out that, you know, Farnham's Legacy might actually be the better one with a little more jazz going on, and so I switched over to that and I started doing it. Had a little bit more of a guided early game, and I was really enjoying that, and I should get back to it. I was doing decently in whatever the other X3 was. You know, I'd figured out how to just totally milk the stock market for infinite cash, and then it was like kind of like, ugh, uh-oh. So I don't know if that's going to happen in Farnham's Legacy, but I should at least get back and enjoy what's going on in the beginning. So now I had a quest. Let me just double check, because I had a quest that involved a mist bearer. I don't think that's what that was. Those were like misterlings or something. So I don't think that's going to get me credit for blueberries. That's good. I don't think that's going to get me credit for that quest. I think that quest needs to be done in whatever cave I pulled that from. So I've got some blueberries. I think I need egg. I don't know if milk is on the menu for the special recipe. Man, one of the things, you know, I'm grabbing all this food and I keep thinking like, oh shit, I better use it though before it rots. That's not this game, but that is something that's interesting in Dragon's Dogma, how everything, like if you don't use it quick enough, it all spoils. That game's shockingly hardcore in some ways. For all of its goofiness, and oops, I didn't want to take the wood basin. Yeah, parts of that game do not mess around. In a good way. Okay, so that off in the distance is where I'm trying to go. So let me get this fast travel point. I'm curious if this elk is just going to come at me or if the elk is going to run away. So I've marked that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not interesting. No, this is interesting. That's gonna be the name of my biography. But, I invested in like a really nice space flight stick, and then immediately started playing X3, which does not need a flight stick. I messed with it in, I was doing some Elite Dangerous. I basically play that game so infrequently that I have to redo the tutorials every single time. And every single time it's like, no, this time. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, but X3. But now I don't even know if they will sell it anymore. It's a gunfighter, and I think the company is like VKP or something like that. They might actually be like, might be Russian now that I think about it, which don't always, it's like, I think one could argue that Russia is doing some shitty things. That might be a safe statement. I'm anti-cancer, like I've got some hot takes. But yeah, once some of the Trump tariffs kicked in, they stopped shipping to the United States. Is it Russia? Is it like Chinese? I don't know what country it comes from. It's a very nice stick, though. I will say I really like it. And I was looking at like maybe I get a matching throttle. I don't need a matching throttle. I'm not that good. But then maybe I would have everything I need to truly tackle a flight sim. So that's if you're piecing together my my psychology, what I do is I find something I really want to do. And the biggest culprit is writing fiction. That's where I do this the most. But I find something that I want to do, and then I invent bullshit steps to put in between me and actually doing the thing, so that I never do it. Like, I can't start writing the story until I figure out how do you become a private investigator. I can't really learn Elite Dangerous until I have like a top tier throttle to go with my top tier flight stick, which are both more complicated than my 78 IQ can handle. Which is not, it's not, a lot of people do that, but that is what I do over and over and over. How do I set? I want to make a campfire. Can I do that? Yes, it's on. Nope, that's not what I want. So let's get back into first person perspective. It's when I do it this way. That's the trick. It's too real. Am I calling you out? I just think it's a typical part of the human condition. Let's say that. I do that all the time. And I can tell you, and it doesn't matter what it is. Like my dream, the one thing I want to do in my life. And now that I'm 50, the clock is ticking. But the one thing I've always wanted to do is to write a book. Other things is like, make a film. I made a short film in grad school. It's not quite the same, but I got a lot of satisfaction from it. So I felt some level of that satisfaction. The first time I can tell you that I finished a feature-length screenplay, it was the closest I've ever gotten to that feeling of like, I want to write a book. Because I took a story in a little bit of a longer form that seemed like a daunting hill to climb. And I can tell you the first time I typed that final fade out, like I was like shaking, like it was so emotionally overwhelming in a good way. So I know like the feeling I would get like finishing a book would probably make me just fall face down on the floor in joy. So even with that as the motivation, I still put just dog shit in front of me to prevent me from doing what it is I'm trying to do. Man, I don't know what to do. Strength, I'm doing okay. Endurance, Dex, spirituality. I feel like got decent. I know spirituality was keeping me from a few things, and I do use spells. But I'm kind of thinking also, it's a time again, the dawn of the stealth archer. Do I go perception? I'm going to go perception. So Matt, I'm guessing, is that something you experience? is that something we all do? Let's see, stealth, daggers, critical hit. Oh, interesting, daggers. What's that? Backstabs with daggers. Okay, that makes sense. Lingering afflictions, serpent swiftness. I'm not using daggers, but maybe I should. I mean, it makes sense for what I'm trying to do. Decreased noise by 20%. Oh, that I really like. What does that open up? Cheat death. Taking lethal damage makes you invisible instead of killing you. Oh, that also. For the amount I die. Sneak damage by 50. Oh. Oh, shit. I think we found our tree right here. Matt says he does that constantly. Yeah, it's yeah. So take this for granted. For example, what am I doing right now? I am playing a game that I am really enjoying and I'm really invested in. But what am I not doing? What is the opportunity cost vis-a-vis my life's dream that I am not doing right now? I'm not writing. Or requiring absolute preparedness or the possibility of absolute completion or nothing. Yeah. It's exactly, yeah. Like, I was writing a science fiction story. I should get back to it at some point, because I got, like... Pages are hard to track, but word count is not. And the word count was like 30 or 40,000 words, so it's not nothing. You know, that could be 100 chunk of pages. And at one point I'm like, okay, I did this part, but now I need to start fleshing out the setting. And so instead of just fleshing out the setting as it's needed, the way, I mean, I know Joss Whedon is, you know, not favorably viewed at this point, but, you know, I think with like Firefly, you know, when he asks some questions like how long does it take to get from A to B, is like as long as the plot requires, like you don't need to flesh out every single gear in the, you know, complicated clockwork of your setting. You need the parts you need, and just keep going. It's your first draft. It doesn't matter. Like, it's your first draft. As Ernest Hemingway famously said, fuck your first draft. No, not really. He said, you know, basically it's like your first draft is always shit. Something like that. But no, I felt like I needed to plot every single system out, and that took me months to do, and then I did it, and surprise, surprise, by that point I had lost momentum on the writing. I started another story, which I've gotten maybe 10,000 words into, maybe. It's, again, not a lot. A novel could be like 90,000 words, 100,000 words, 80 to 150. You know, George R.R. Martin laxative might be 170,000 words. You know, late Tom Clancy might be 170,000 words, and maybe 30,000 of them are important. R.I.P. I loved his books, but Jesus Christ, some of those last novels are fucking bloated. So, anyway, I feel like King Arthur's standing right there. Why? Let's talk. Tell me what the Horns of the South were like in your time. Yeah, Matt writes, requiring absolute preparedness or the possibility of absolute completion or nothing. Right, like, yeah, it's definitely a form of letting the perfect get in the way of the good. And it doesn't matter how happy that good would make you feel. I don't know, for me, if it's like just being scared of it, intimidated by it, I don't know. And then Matt writes, write it a little bit? Fuck no, all or nothing. Right. Like I could, and that's the thing, like when I got those 30, 40,000 words on my science fiction story, it was because I followed like advice of people like Stephen King, and it was just like, set aside a time every day to write, set aside a goal. I made mine very modest, which was 300 to 400 words, and you just do that every day. For me, I was like 5 days a week, 300 words a day. And I can tell you, like, they don't even have to be a good 300 words, because again, it's your first draft, and I could do that like in an hour. It didn't take me a long time. Like, if I had an idea of what I was writing about, I'm terrible about outlining, but I think I do more of it subconsciously than I realize. When I had a little bit of a direction of where I was going, 300 words is not hard to do in squeezing that into the day. And then, you know, you do that 10 times, you got 3,000 words. You do it another 10 times, you got 30,000 words. You do another 10 times, you got 300,000 words. And that's you know, that's 3 books, you know? I think, like, not that death by 1,000 cuts is the right metaphor, but it little bits add up, and before you know it, you're done. Matt says, I wanted to start writing, but I feel like I need to read all these books instead of just writing. Like, yeah, like one of the stories I was writing involves somebody who is like a sort of a beat up investigator. And so I was like, well, I really need to know what it's like or how to become a private investigator. Like what, and it turns out like all those details don't matter too much. And so I did it and I sort of know some of the things. And it's probably enough to sketch it out again for my first draft, because who the fuck cares? It's a first draft. You know, first draft of everything is shit, so it's more important. You know, I was listening, this is getting on a tangent. I think I was listening to Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if he's the fantasy sci-fi writer that just is so prolific. Whoever took over the Wheel of Time series when Robert Jordan died, that's who I'm thinking of. And he was giving a talk at some college, I think. Maybe he was like a guest lecturer for a semester. Or maybe he's a teacher there. And he basically says, like, if you finish a first draft, you are basically in the rarefied. Yes, if you finish your first draft of a novel, that puts you in the company of like 0.1% of people who write. And so I took that in 2 ways. One, I think it does illustrate just how difficult that is. You know, it's not to trivialize the task, but it also shows that if you can find that discipline, you know, you've already done something pretty amazing with that first draft, and it's all easier and downhill from there. Like, yeah. Anyway. Matt says, LOL, mine are like on writing, if that's the Stephen King. Stephen King's On Writing is amazing, and it's amazing for me in a couple ways. And the reason why I'm not doing this is because I don't like to talk over the VO, but the best thing for me about On Writing was, you know, Stephen King's tips are, you know, important and stuff. Like, I don't think he's the best writer in the world, but I do have a ton of respect for him. He's written books that I've loved, and he's written books that I've absolutely hated. But I respect that he can do it, like, because again, just the process of doing it is not something to be taken for granted. And On Writing, I felt like, aside from the tips of, like, you know, don't use like the road to hell is paved with adverbs, I think is one of the things he writes, which I thought was funny. But he genuinely is rooting for you, the reader, as a writer. That's what I felt. I felt like there's this like, hey man, if I can do it, like you can do it. And like, and it had that vibe to it that I found really supportive, you know, because I think that's the actual more important thing about a book on writing, is not to tell you like, you know, the road to hell is paved with adverbs. It's to tell you like, bro, like you got this, like you can do it. And that's, for me, the best part of On Writing, is that vibe I got from it. All right, enough babbling. Tell me what the Horns of the South were like. But Matt, enough babbling. I'm going to now babble again. Yeah, Matt, I don't know, you know, I don't know what support group we need to start, but, as white males of average experience, it's time to podcast our writing. Again, I mentioned somewhere there's an Onion headline, 250 million Americans still don't have a guest for their podcast this week. So America. Okay, tell me what the Horns of the South were like in your time.
The Horns of the South, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tainted Grail when Seawall and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keep has grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks. I suppose it wasn't. I can feel it guards something primordial within. The markings on the stone resemble the work of the Foredwellers. In my time, such inscriptions would shift and change, making them impossible to decipher. Yet, I met some people who sought to unravel these mysteries. Most of them were Picts. I allowed them to explore Avalon without my oversight. And so, I remember that the royal geographers came to be. My favorite band of adventurers. True pathfinders. Avalon owes them a great debt. I suppose it has. A pity it has become a hunting ground for bandits. But do not worry, my friend. Let us walk this path and make me whole again. I will restore this island to the glory it deserves, the King's Road included.
Okay, can we cook? Again, let's look at some recipes now that I can. Mom's pie. Got the blueberries. We need egg and flour. Can I jot that down? Where's my... So you're following this at all, I bought myself a writing tablet, and then I promptly dropped like a 2-pound weight right on the screen. So flour and egg, and crack the screen. So I gotta see if I can get that fixed. In the meantime, I have an iPad that I've started writing on, and the writing feel is not as good, but it actually is more convenient in some ways, and I probably should just take notes there, but let's see. So yeah, getting back, Matt says, we named the writing podcast Accountability Buddies. I like that. And then he says, my dream is to write something in the vein of True Detective Season 1. That touch of surreal is something I've wanted to bottle ever since. And then I was about to say, but stupid fucking King Arthur was, nah. I was about to say, oh, do you mean Twin Peaks? And then Matt says, I guess Twin Peaks is in that same vein for sure. So yes, that was always the magic of Twin Peaks for me. Like, it went to a place that I had never seen a mystery go before. And I'll be the first to admit, like with my human fighter vanilla tendencies, the parts of Twin Peaks that are more grounded, initially I enjoyed more than the surreal, but now I've grown to appreciate all of it, especially after The Return, the 3rd season. But yes, Twin Peaks captured something I wanted to bottle as well. It was that idea of like small town murder mystery. Nothing is what it seems, which is also sort of Blue Velvet. And a weirdness to it, but I know that I would have not made it magical or fantastical. Matt, I'm curious. Speaking of Stephen King on writing blah, 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 have you ever read or watched on HBO the miniseries from 2020 called The Outsider? Did I level up? I did. Do I need to rest? I will. Okay, so we spoke to King Arthur. Ooh. So I keep seeing that guy, and I don't know what it means. So it's like a weird night, is what it said. But I don't know what that means. So I was woken up by him. I've seen him a few times, and then he disappears. Let's see, Matt says, I guess Twin Peaks is the same vein as, yeah. The Twin Peaks works because it isn't explained perfectly. Also, just a touch of surreal. Twin Peaks pushes it. True Detective nails it. No, this another bullshit thing. I won't read The Outsider because it's in the same universe as Mr. Mercedes. Yes, Mr. Mercedes, when I said there's Stephen King books that I hate, it's the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. I will tell you, don't read the book then. So The Outsider is what made me go back to read the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. So I am fortunate in that I did it in the reverse order, I guess. And Matt says, I don't want to finish the Mr. Mercedes trilogy because you told me it gets worse. So I'll tell you why I think it gets worse in a second. The Outsider is two things. One, it made me really appreciate Jason Bateman as an actor. Like, he's really good. And then it really, this is the part that surprised me, and this is something like only a film nerd will care about. It really made me appreciate Jason Bateman as a director. That guy is fucking great with the episodes that he directs. It is so good, what he brings to the table in that series. And you absolutely don't need to, obviously you don't need to read Mr. Mercedes to appreciate The Outsider, because I went in cold, unknowing what to expect. The Outsider definitely has some of that True Detective vibe. It's really well done. It is so good. And then it made me go back to the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, and that left me confused, because I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, The Outsider is this thing, and the Mr. Mercedes trilogy seems to be kind of like a straight up hard-boiled detective story. And then the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, what I hate about it is that I felt like at some point Stephen King was like, this is not what I'm good at, or this is not what I enjoy writing, and I don't want to do it anymore. And then he's like, we're just going to make this trilogy like the stuff I usually write, which is more supernatural. And it doesn't work. It comes out of nowhere. It has people saying things like, like the supernatural, this is actually something that's not crazy to consider. And I'm sitting there going, sure fucking is, if the rest of the story has been a hard-boiled detective novel so far. Like people, the dead inhabiting the body of a living after like traumatic brain injury is not like a crazy medical theory. And I'm sitting there going like, holy shit. Holy shit it is. What are you talking about? That is a batshit theory. And then the other thing is that he puts a silencer on a revolver, and now it's just like, you're not even trying anymore.
This is my happy day.
Ooh.
I'm not beaten yet.
Let's see. Okay, so there's a lot to catch up on here as I'm fighting. Matt says, I don't want to finish Mr. Mercedes trilogy because it got me worse. Yeah, I thought I got worse because the first two are trying to be something, and then it's clear, and the third one he just doesn't care anymore about keeping what that is, what it started as. I'll say that. Did you read The Outsider? I think it has its own trilogy now. Yes, it's and because it takes one of the characters from, and there's a reason why at the end of the Mercedes trilogy, why it's not going to be the same main character. It takes the main character's assistant, like sort of the slightly neurodivergent assistant, and she becomes the main character, and it's fine. And I think it works much better because it never pretends to be like a classic hard-boiled detective story. So there's The Outsider, then It Bleeds. I don't know if that's the second one. I have It Bleeds. Somebody got me that for a gift, and I still need to read. And I think I would probably appreciate it more if they're, because it's from the beginning going in as like a sort of a surreal kind of mystery. But yeah, then Matt's like, okay, easy there, RFK, when I'm spouting medical theories about how, the brain of somebody transplanting thoughts into the brain of somebody else is medically ridiculous. And then he's like, silencer on a revolver is almost wrongfully accused Naked Gun where they use the pillows. Yes. Yeah, that's why. Because, like, I mean, it's no secret that silencers are not nearly as effective in real life as they are in the movies. You know, you watch, like, that John Wick scene where they're having a shootout underneath, like, the new World Trade Center. Can't remember what they call it. Like, one's on the top level, one's on the bottom level. They're just shooting at each other, you know. And it's like, that's not how it works. But the reason why, you know, what you need with a silencer is you need to not have holes for the gases to escape and create noise. So in a revolver, which is all holes for the gases to escape and create noise, and then you stick a thing on the end, it's like, what the fuck are we even doing? And that's when it made me realize, like, I don't know if he didn't care anymore. And that's what made me angry. It's like, well, fuck, dude, if you're not even gonna, like, that just felt like, let's just wrap this up, I don't care. And that is what made me angry about reading it. Yeah, that's what did it, because I was like, you didn't respect my time. Like, it's clear you don't care, so just don't fucking write the book. Like, you know, like, you've got 12,000 other books in you that you want to write, so just fucking write those. You don't want to write this one, so, you know. But then at the same time, you know, everybody gets pissed at George R.R. Martin because he clearly doesn't want to write more Game of Thrones. Or, that's not fair. It feels like he doesn't, I'll say that. There was a quick way to... It started so strong. The Mr. Mercedes trilogy? Yeah. The second one isn't as good, but it's still pretty classic, I believe. Kind of... I think he wanted to take a crack at writing, like, Philip Marlowe, whatever, kind of mysteries. And then that's not his wheelhouse. I think his wheelhouse, I think he had ideas that were more supernaturally inclined because that's, I think, what he likes. And then he just said this thing that I was doing this with is now the other thing. And I'm like, nope, I'm not along for that. And it was done so ham-fistedly that I was like, nope. Let's see, on procrastinating. 2 dudes don't write a book coming this fall. Well, that's the thing. What? It's like, what'd you do this week? Oh, we played RPGs. Let's talk about the RPGs. This week on procrastinating. What did we... I mean, literally all of Black Lodge. Have you read his hard case line or whatever? No, I don't know that one. But I'll just say this, Matt. Like, I don't know if you should read The Outsider, because, you know, seriously, fuck the trilogy. If you know who his assistant is, you've got all the information you need for the new trilogy. It's really separate. I would say at least watch The Outsider because it's got that True Detective Season 1 vibe of how it's like put together and how it looks. It's genuinely really good. Even like my wife, who does not like this shit, was like, this is good. I think she even liked The Outsider. Later is one of them. I don't know that one. I should save. I feel like, well, maybe that's not true these days with audiobooks. I don't do audiobooks, so maybe... But maybe with audiobooks, like a 10-hour miniseries is actually more of an investment than an audiobook. It's a pretty good shot. Nope, he's got magic.
Beg for mercy.
We're not there yet, but probably pretty soon. Nope, I'm just fucking mashing buttons now.
Say your prayers. You are nothing but a...
Drop the peasant so I can get to the knight.
I'll strike you down.
Ooh, he just came at me with a thrust. Well done, sir.
I'll strike...
Oh, no, you didn't, you bitch. Pick a lane. Throwing knives or fireballs?
Your armor won't save you.
Ooh. Camelot Soldier's Gladius. Nice. I'll have to check. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the other books you're referring to. I'll have to check that out. So I'm wondering if this triangle is telling me this will put me over my weight limit. I want to get a healing spell because I'm burning all my health potions just... Night film by... Yep, okay, I did read that one. Night film by Marisha Pesce is one I really loved. Don't think Patrick did, but it walks the surreal line. The ending is more ham-fisted. I will say I did not love that book either, but I did appreciate it. There were things about it that I thought... The premise of the story involves like a mysterious filmmaker having like a oversized compound like in Westchester County or something. And making like this mysterious cult kind of film, and then somebody disappears. And for me, the trick was...
Your wealth is...
If you ever watch the end credits of a movie, you know that it takes 23,000 people to make a film. So the idea that they were able to do something in secret with a film crew, even if it was sort of... Yeah, it was... That part jumped out at me for some reason. So what do you think of Night Film? Yeah, that was it. It was actually an interesting premise with the girl disappearing, but I had trouble buying the idea that, because two people keep a secret, the third person, there's some expression about that. So the idea like a whole film crew would be hanging out and able to keep something secret, which the plot required. Because it takes place in modern times. Like the story is not taking place in like 1980 before cell phones. Maybe the film part does, but parts of it take place now. So I feel like it might have been even harder to keep that a secret. But that's like a weird, dumb way to judge that story. So, and I get that because that's not the point. So the issue was I wasn't willing to meet it sort of halfway on a point it needed me to hand wave. I wasn't willing to hand wave parking on that point to allow the story to go. Because I'm a dick, I guess. But I thought the idea was really interesting, and it made me curious, like, what the author's other, Miss, what was it? Pressy, is that what it is? Made me interesting. Yeah, so that was the thing. Like, that's not a fair way to judge the book. It's like, hey, are you willing to, I need these things to be true in order to set up a pretty cool premise of a story. And I was like, I hear you. And if it were something else, maybe, and this is literally like what I went to grad school for and spent my whole life doing. And so it was just literally a little bit of that. Otherwise, I probably would have really liked it. See what Brock has to say.
Did you make sure that no one from the Queen's entourage was following your trail? Beware her spokespeople. And if you're acting on her behalf, be gone and perish!
I feel like you need to confirm which one I am before you talk to me. What Queen? What are you on about?
The first time I saw her was years ago, when night fell over Brock Miala, and the gatherers had already fallen into a peaceful slumber. Then, the first sign appeared, a harbinger of what was to come. The mist, thicker than ever before. Wilfred was the first to notice it, as he still tended to the beehives. Finally, from the milky shroud suspended between the earth and the sky, an unexpected procession emerged, led by the Queen of Queens. Oh. We were lucky to be wearing our attire.
What happened next? Who's the queen?
Along with the mist came stinging troubles. The queen issued a decree, and that meant trouble. That's right. Troubles are like bee stings. Man swells from them, and later on, he doesn't even resemble a human anymore. The most important thing is that both Brock and Brockmiala were protected. Yes, that's the most important thing.
Your attire is very ellipsis, peculiar.
It's the attire of many families from Brockmiala. It protected them, just like it protected me. That's right, but I can't give it to you. It shields me from the Queen's gaze. I am invisible to her. I hope you understand. No one wants to be noticed by her.
Who are you?
Depends on who's asking. Do you bring trouble, or are you in need? Do you hear the buzzing of the bee swarm, or are you carrying that noise yourself? No, I can't hear any buzzing from you. Hold on. You don't know what you're doing here yourself, and you are looking for answers, or the right questions. Ah, well, same difference. My name is Brock. If you need something to shield yourself from evil, you've come to the right place.
Open shop. Let's see what you got.
Go ahead. Choose something.
Okay. Do you have any eggs or flour? Looks like pretty specific alchemy. Sell from stash. That's what I'm looking for. That's perfect. Yeah, so we'll have to come back.
Take care of yourself. The Queen can appear anywhere, at any moment.
So then Matt says, I just finished something like that, not worth getting into, but, to be honest, but in short, their depiction of the pre-Civil War South was way too idealistic. Even if the story ended up being pretty good, I was so turned off by it. So you sort of get the idea, right? Like, they need something to be true in order for their story to work, and it happens to be something that I know, like, you're quite knowledgeable on, so you're like, you know what, I can't do it. Like, I know too much about this. And just to get a little pinkies out, you know, since... Oh, and then also Matt wrote, like, another opportunity to talk about Hinterland, which is the best modern crime show. Yeah, I said it. Hinterland's really good. Did we miss an opportunity by not going with Hinterland Trivia Night instead of Black Lodge? Hinterland's really good. But yeah, what we're saying here, there's like this up my own ass... excuse me, thing that Aaron Sorkin talks about a lot, and I've read it. It's a long time ago. Aristotle wrote a book about writing called On Poetics, I think it's what it's called. And one of the things that is a takeaway from that, which was, again, you can hear Aaron Sorkin explain it as well, if you don't want to read the book and you want to hear it from an expert. The idea is, it's better to have a believable impossibility than an unbelievable possibility. And so, like, in Night Film, you could argue, like, is it possible that this film crew kept things a secret? Yes, it is within the realm of possibility that they did, but it's improbable. Maybe that's the word. It's better to have a probable impossibility than an improbable possibility. And so there you go. So so that's what, the essence of my issue with Night Film was. And it's honestly, when you start to think about it, it might be the thing that trips up your appreciation of a story more than you realize. She's like, why didn't I just didn't buy it. I'm trying to think of one where it's like a probable impossibility. I mean, like James Bond, like, can one guy save the world? It's basically impossible, but we believe it, so it becomes probable for the sake of that story. When Hinterland stops being crime of the week and circles back to the Nightmare School, Bloody Brilliant. I've watched a chunk of it, but I think there's like 7 seasons or something. I need to keep going. And then he writes, I'm going to write something this week. External accountability. Yeah, I mean, we need to have something written for the podcast that we're now accountabilities. Yeah, when I was in film school, the thing that got me to finish my first feature-length screenplay was I was like, I'm taking a class. And the whole reason why I'm taking a class, I didn't need to for what I was focusing on. I was like, I'm going to take a feature-length screenwriting class because I will be accountable. Because every week it was the same homework. You had to have 10 pages written so that you could hand it off to your group to get feedback. So every week I wrote 10 pages. It was a 15-week semester, 14 weeks. So the idea was that you wrote 120 pages and then you had a couple of weeks to talk about the whole thing and get teacher feedback and stuff like that. But basically every week we broke into groups. Probably was a breeze for the teacher to to teach, because basically he's like, okay, everybody split up and talk amongst yourselves. That was basically a class. But yeah, every week we had groups of 4, and I would print out my 10 pages and hand a packet to each person in my group. They would hand their 10 pages to me, and then we'd spend the next week writing our 10 pages and reviewing their 10 each for 30. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, my hope is while I have a little bit of downtime, one of the nice things when I do go on vacation with my family to the Cape is I make it a point to carve out time to write. That was actually the last time I wrote when I started that sort of detective-y thing I was talking about. It was the last time I put significant time into it was last year on the Cape. And so it's part of why I'm sort of sad to not have been able to go this year because of work. But what I should be doing is I should be making a point to be like, look, you've got free time. Although I do have a lot more distractions here with being able to do Black Lodge stuff, RPG stuff, war game stuff, but it's just like, you've got the time, so do it. You know, just again, 300 words a day is not, it's not hard. It's not easy. I'm just gonna hit him in the dick with fireballs. But it's not impossible. He's like, are we doing this? LOL. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I said this a million times, but maybe this isn't, maybe this isn't right. I do believe that it's all connected. So that's why I feel like it's all good to put everything up on Black Lodge. Maybe this is a little too different and specific, but I don't know. Are we doing? Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like The Martian, Andy Weir. I think he first wrote that as a blog, right? It's like whatever you need to get done with that first. Like it was something like that. He published it online, and if like we do on writing the 10-minute check-in, even if it's something like, hey, did you get your pages done? Whatever it is, and we talk about it. I think there's something very relatable. Like, we're not going to have anything new to say, like we never have anything new to say, but we will. I think this is why I enjoy doing Black Lodge and all this stuff, is that, we're all people and we all have more of a shared experience than we realize. And I think the more we talk about stuff like that, the more shared we realize our experience is. And so even if you're just talking about something that somebody else is talking about, I don't think it's a waste. So yeah, I mean, again, if you need more podcasts in your life, Matt, I wouldn't want it to be like super long, but if there was some way we could figure it out, let's talk offline. Or not. Let's talk right now. I must walk the path. Whoops. Missed. I think the right stick would have let me. So that's the trick. The right stick does a couple different things. The right stick is going to open up the thing you just opened up, but it's also going to spend your magic power that you might not want to spend when you meant to open up a document you just picked up. So that is one of the tricks I know I've screwed up with some things. Let me get some autofills going. I don't have any. Yeah. And if nothing else, Matt, we can at least discuss what ChatGPT prompts we use to write our book. Because humanity's going to hell. Okay, so let me see if I can figure out what I just picked up. Nope. Recent, here we go. I must walk the path to beseech her to save our most holy haven. Those of the Dal Riata claim that we worship the same goddess, but how can I believe these savages who can't even write? I will visit all the chapels, make an offering. I will collect every bit of her grace, sneak back into the temple, cast it into a simple, powerful amulet, and that surely will work. The All-Mother must hear me. I will never believe that she abandoned us. Yeah, to my ChatGPT, Matt, LOL, fuck that, gross, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking gross. Even if it's amazing, I would still never prefer it. Amulet of the Waning Moon. A lot of mana shit going on there. So I'm going to activate that. These savages who can't even write. Is that for us? Yeah, it could be like, what's this week's excuse, you know? What did we not? Let's see, make an offering to the All-Mother. Did I do it? Definitely picking up a lot of bullshit. Might be able to. I feel like I can make this, or I don't know. I'll have to see. But I missed whatever was just said. Is there a way to get that back up? Journal? I don't think so. This game is... The game is listening. Yeah, I'm not listening to anything the game's telling me. I'm testifying. I've got too much to say. RFK can't shut me up. I refuse to be shut up by RFK Jr. All right, I'm out. Let's talk. All right, take it easy, Matt. Thanks for jumping into the chat. It's always good to chat with you. We chat all the time, but it's still always good. Take care, and I hope the rest of the weekend's good. How are we doing on time? 2 hours and 20. We'll go longer. We'll keep going. I keep backing out when I mean to scroll over. Oh, we're not at where I thought I was. I thought we were there. So let's keep... You know what I'm going to do? Can I build a bonfire? Let's just get to daylight. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm introducing all the weirdness. You know, and as much as I talk about writing, like, I've done a little bit of it, and I did some for school. I'm in no means good. Like, I'm not a good writer. And I don't mean to imply that I am. It's just something that I've thought some about and read up on some about and, you know, studied a little bit in school. Doesn't mean I know shit. Or that I'm able to apply. I might argue that I know some shit. Just because I recall some things that people have said. But I will never say that I'm good at it. I'm not seeing any activity, but Did I not heal up when I rested? Is that not a thing? Because I'm a little light on health potions and food. Maybe I don't have anything cooked, but is there anything I can just eat? Rose, 10 health over 10 seconds. Daffodil. I probably should have cooked. Let's see. And the other thing, you know, is like, you know, talking about how it felt like Stephen King's like, fuck this, I'm out, I don't care about this hard-boiled detective story I was doing. Like, that's part of the problem I had with, I got pretty deep into this science fiction story, and I was enjoying it, but then I was like, oh, but I really like mysteries. And I also really like the idea of trying this, and I also really like the idea of trying that. And the next thing I knew, I was so distracted that I had stopped one thing and started another. And as much as procrastination and inserting bullshit, is Wolfsbane the same as Nightshade? And inserting like hurdles in front of my progress. I also... like the new shiny idea pops into my head. And that's one of the things I like about Black Lodge Trivia Night is, you know, like in theory, if we, you know, when we get the rotation like really humming, you know, you get to tell your story in like an adventure. And then if you want to keep going, keep going. And if you don't, you know, just move on. Like I finished my Cold War espionage spy thing. Like the next thing I do does not have to be part 2 of the Cold War espionage spy thing. I mean, hopefully I'll get back to it. Although I will say the more that I stick in between, the less likely I am to get back to it. But you know what I'm saying. All right. Orbs of Recoil and Vortex. Among throwable alchemical weapons, few match the Orb of Recoil and the Orb of Vortex in versatility and devastation. The Orb of Recoil is a sphere infused with kinetic repulsion. Upon impact, it releases a forceful shockwave. That could be useful. Orb of Vortex is the opposite, it draws in. So basically it's like grenades that'll either blow away or suck in, so I could see that being pretty useful. Let me see what's going on here. I just saw something pop up that I might have to deal with. Crystals are more than mere trinkets. They hold power when shaped and thrown with intent. To craft an effective throwable crystal, proper throwing technique is essential. Beware. Let me see. Okay, now I took those. You know what I'm going to do? There's something here I might need to take care of in real life that I wasn't expecting. So let me... quick save here. We'll call it, and we'll pick this up next time, seeing what goes on with this druidic temple. Yeah, and, you know, it might be a couple weeks before it goes out, but I'm hopefully going to be playing this a lot this week instead of writing, as I've been saying the whole time. So, yeah, we're Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is a tabletop RPG channel, believe it or not. That's the main thing. You can see all the games and the systems we've tried on the channel. If you're watching this, you found our YouTube presence. Like and subscribe if that's your thing. There's audio versions of our actual plays and some of our discussion podcasts. If you prefer audio, check those out. Leave comments like that as well. But yeah, we'll be back. We just genuinely appreciate everybody who checks this stuff out. So take care. Thanks again.